The economic impact of tourism in Broome County is soaring above pre-pandemic levels. That's according to a recent tourism economics report from New York State. 12 News' Kevin Quinn has more on the surge and how the money made goes directly back into our community.
2019 had been like a record year. Spending was up, visitation was up, and impact of tourism was up overall.
Tourism in Broome County was at its peak just as the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, effectively putting a pause on the industry. However, a recent report detailing the impact of tourism in 2023 from New York State shows recovery has happened at a faster rate than experts expected.
There were some predictions during COVID that it was going to take 3, 4, 5, 10 years to recover, and recovery has happened much quickly.
The local art scene, including traveling Broadway shows at the Forum Theater, the Tri-Cities Opera, and the Binghamton Philharmonic Orchestra, are key factors Director of Visit Binghamton Judy Hess refers to as a driver of dollars coming into the community. However, some of the area's marquee events are generating publicity, which also adds to continued growth.
World-class events like Luma, the Dick's Sporting Goods Open, things that not only bring people in from all over the country or the world, but also give us publicity so that we're in newspapers in countries that way far away from here, and the value of that is incredible.
In 2023, economic impact increased 18.5% and visitor spending increased 6.2%, but the most important increase for Broome County residents was in tax revenue, something going directly back into taxpayers' pockets.
Tourism-generated taxes saves every household in Broome County, on average, $572 off their tax bill.
Hotel occupancy taxes are put into a Broome County fund that in part goes toward funding Visit Binghamton, allowing for marketing and other initiatives toward continued growth in the tourism industry. Kevin Quinn, 12 News, Broome County.